Hello students, today we all will be learning about the personal. See, the objectives of personal include to review journal issues related to personal, to review requirements of care personnel, to review the training of personnel to consider some specific issues. The principles include establishment and maintenance of satisfactory systems of QA, manufacture and control of product, and actives rely on people. Second, must be sufficient qualified personnel to carry out tasks. Third, individual responsibility must be clearly defined and understood by individuals concerned. Next, written job description. And the last one is all persons should be aware of the principles of GP that affect them. The personal requirements include adequate number of persons with necessary qualification, practical experience, and individual responsibility should not be so extensive as to present a risk to quality. All responsible staff should have specific duties recorded in the individual written job description, have adequate authority to carry out the responsibilities, may delegate to designate deputies with qualification, no gaps or unexplained overlap, organization chart. All persons should be aware of GMP, must receive training in GMP, initial training, continuing training, including hygiene standard, motivated to support the establishment, maintain high quality standard, prevent unauthorized access to production areas, storage areas, quality control, stop personnel who does not work in these areas using them as passageway. Personal. Key personal positions include authorized person, head of production, head of quality control, may delegate function, not responsibility. Heads of production and quality control should be independent of each other, should possess appropriate qualification, scientific education such as biochemistry or biochemistry, chemical engineering, microbiology, pharmaceutical sciences and technology, pharmacology and toxicology, physiology, or other related science subjects relevant to the responsibilities to be undertaken, should possess appropriate experience, practical experience in manufacturing and quality assurance, preparatory period under professional guidance sometimes needed. Education and experience should enable personnel to take difficult decisions in an independent, professional, and scientific way, resolve the problems encountered in manufacturing and QC. Responsibility. Head of production and quality control may share jointly exercise some responsibility relating to quality, authorization of written procedures and other documents including amendments, monitoring and control of manufacturing environment, plant hygiene, process validation and calibration, training include application and principles of QA, approval and monitoring of suppliers and contract sector, designation and monitoring of storage condition for the materials and the product, performing and evaluating in-process control, retention of record, monitoring compliance with GMP, inspection, investigation, and taking of samples to monitor factors which may affect quality. Then comes the professional qualification. Each person engaged in the manufacturing, processing, packing, or holding of a drug shall have education, training, and expertise, or any combination thereof to enable that person to perform the assigned function. Each person responsible for supervising the manufacture, processing, packing, or holding of drug product shall have the education, training, and experience or combination thereof to perform assigned functions in such a manner as to provide assurance that the drug product has the safety, identity, strength, quality, and purity that it purports or is represented to possess. There shall be an adequate number of qualified personnel to perform and supervise the manufacture, processing, packing, or holding of each drug product. Training. Under a quality system, managers are expected to establish training programs that include the following: evaluation of training needs, provision of training to satisfy these needs, evaluation of effectiveness of training, documentation of training or retraining, developing, maintaining, and administering the facility training program. Training in accordance with a written approved program, all persons whose duties take them into production areas or into control laboratories, and for others whose activity could affect the quality of the product, including technical for these whose activity could affect the quality of the product, including technical maintenance and cleaning personnel. Induction and continuing program, the theory and practice of GMP and their duties, training records should be kept, practical and effectiveness checked, training before undertaking any new task. Specific training for staff in special areas, example, decontamination is allowed, including clean areas, areas where highly active toxic infection sensitizing materials are handled. The concept of QA should be fully discussed during training to facilitate proper understanding to enhance its implement. expectation. Now comes the types of training. The initial training include the program for the initial training of newly recruited personnel or personnel taking over new functions should take into account all relevant tasks and procedure, including general topics such as quality assurance, GMP, and computerized system. The training record should identify at least the trainer, all the specified tasks, and when the training was completed, the record should be signed by both the trainee and the trainer. Second is the continuous training. The continuous training program should be in place to ensure that personnel keep up the skills to carry out their design assigned tasks. Such training programs shall take technical and scientific development into account. Training should also include any changes to standard operating procedures and personal requirements. Both internal and external training courses may be useful here. Now comes the competency. The overall competency of a person is a result of education, experience, and training as a key factor for the quality and safety of blood and blood product. Competency has to be carefully evaluated and continuously monitored. Upon completion of the initial training, the competency of the person should be evaluated and documented. After the initial competency is determined, there should be a periodic assessment of competency. The content of training program and the effectiveness should be periodically reviewed and assessed. Now comes the personal hygiene. Steps should be taken to ensure, as far as practicable, that no person should affected uh, by an infectious disease or having open lesions on the exposed surface of the body is engaged in the manufacture of medicinal products. Every person entering the manufacturing area should wear protective garments appropriate to the operations to be carried out. Eating, drinking, chewing, or smoking, or the storage of food, drink, smoking materials, or personal medication in the production and storage area should be prohibited. In general, any unhygienic practice within the manufacturing area or in any other area where the product might be adversely affected should be forbidden. Direct contact should be avoided between the operator's hand and the exposed product as well as with any part of the equipment that come into contact with the product. Personnel should be instructed to use the hand washing facility. Any specific requirement for the manufacturer of special group of product, for example, sterile preparation and covered in the annexes. The personal records are records pertaining to employees of an organization. These records are accumulated, factual, and comprehensive information related to concern records are detained. All information with effect to human resource in the organization is kept in a systematic order. Such records are helpful to a manager in various decision-making process. The purpose of personal record, it helps to supply crucial information to managers regarding the employees to keep an update record of leaves, lockout, transfer, turnover, etc. of the employees. It helps the managers in framing various training and development program on the basis of present scenario. It helps the government organization to gather data in respect to rate of turnover, rate of absenteeism, and other personal matters. It helps the managers to make salary revisions, allowances, and other benefits related to salary. It also helps the researchers to carry in-depth study with respect to industrial relation and goodwill of the firm in the market. Thank you.